Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Live Q&A. I am Shane Keys, brand director here with my Amazon guy. We also have Benjamin Loya, another brand director here with my Amazon guy. But yeah, without any further ado, let's hop right into it and start answering some questions. Looks like we got quite a few, so I want to try to get to everybody here. I will definitely have to hard stop by 1:30 Eastern. But all right, let's hop into it. Let's get to some of Andy's questions. I don't see any member questions, and we have a donation from Andy, so thank you, Andy. Yeah, so if we can just skip over to one of Andy's first questions, I want to get to those briefly. Let's see. I click on my own product many times a day. As I'm continually clicking and not buying, will this have a negative effect on the algorithm and penalize me? Um, from my understanding, and Ben, let me know if you have any other idea. But from my understanding there, in terms of the session, it shouldn't count over and over and over again for yourself, especially, or for any customer if they're visiting more than once, like within, I think it might be even a 24-hour period. So you shouldn't be stacking up too many sessions for yourself. I don't think the effect on the algorithm is going to be too significant. It might be just like a slight change in your conversion rate, but like very, very small in my opinion.
Yeah, and adding to that, just heads up, if you are clicking on that one a lot of times during the day, make sure that you don't have the sponsor announcing there, the sponsor badge, because it's going to cost you, that is going to cost you money.
Yeah, very, very good point. If you guys are looking at your own product pages, I'd recommend just doing it from your account, either from your seller app or your account, and then just clicking the link from your manage inventory. Because yeah, if you're doing the search, then you have to be really careful on the search page to not click on your ad and charge yourself like $1 just for the click. That would be the only issue I could see from that. And over here, next question from Andy. Should we come in all guns blazing on the PPC spend for a new product or crank it up slowly? I think my first take there is, and I always say it kind of depends a little bit on what you can do. If you have, enough available to where you can go guns blazing right away, you're gonna definitely sacrifice some efficiency because you don't really have much data to go off of yet on what works for you and what the cost per click is on some of these keywords that you're gonna be targeting. Um, if you don't want to sacrifice efficiency, because you usually will have high costs at the start with new campaigns, I would start with some of those campaigns we talked about last week, like that auto catch-all. Maybe a few like very, very relevant keywords that can work for you. Maybe in like a broad match or a phrase match. And let you get some data like through the search terms of those campaigns and figure out what is converting and what some cheaper, longer tail targets are. 'Cause if you just go immediately guns blazing, like exact match on the most relevant, highest search volume keyword, you are going to struggle a little bit being, I think, next to like the market share winners of the category with thousands of reviews or whatever that is. And do you want to take this one, Ben?
Yep. What qualifies a new product to be included with an old established product as a variation and take advantage of existing reviews? Our new products is the same but with a big improvement. Yeah, I believe that we discussed about it last week. It is good to take advantage from your old products. If you're launching a new products, I would go, and I always like to go with buying reviews, always with the buying enrollment, and then if your old product already has like good engagement, good reviews, 5 stars or more than 4.3, if you place them together, I believe those are the two things that are going to qualify that one as a good parent or as a good variation for your product. I mean, to have them together.
Yeah, and I'd say if you already have like hundreds or like thousands of reviews on that old one, you probably don't need to pay for Vine on the new product. And for like what qualifies it, I mean, you're saying it's the same product but with a big improvement. I think it might depend slightly on, like, what that improvement is. Amazon really does wanna see the same products in a variation together,
Mm.
like, quantity difference or color difference or style difference, and so maybe you can name it a different style of the same product, like you got the basic version and then the pro version of the same product, and then that would definitely, like, be fine in Amazon's eyes. You just wanna it sounds like you'll be okay because 'cause they're the same, but it's just, an improvement off of the first product. So I think you should be able to combine them fine, but Amazon would definitely let you know when you try to create that parentage, or down the line that if they think there's like, if they think they're grouped together when they shouldn't be. Um, all I can otherwise say is make sure they're in the same category when you go to parent them. That's one thing that you'll have to do to qualify it to work. Okay. I think we can go back to the beginning unless we got any member. I don't think so.
This looks like an advice, right?
Yeah, this came in at 3 AM. I don't know if it was a response to a comment, but it says, from a deal here, upload a feed file, it will reflect. If not, work download the inventory report and delete the listing for 24 hours. So it looks like he was giving someone advice. Basically,
Yeah.
if you're doing a feed file and your partial or full updates aren't reflecting, it is a decent idea to go ahead and delete the SKU, do a delete file upload, um, kind of let that sit for 24 hours and then post a relisting feed file that includes all the changes you wanted to make, and that can let the system kind of refresh and actually push through your change. But you will lose a day of sales. Any inventory that was attached to FBA will go stranded for a day. But otherwise, it's a safe practice, and you'll get your inventory back and your reviews and everything. Okay. Hello, friends or friends. I don't know how to say that, but hello. And my question is related to the launch process. When we start to launch the product, is there any super URL that we can send sales to our product? As we have first sales are very important, and I want to send my products from my friends. I'm on the launch process. Is there any URL I can use if product will not? Okay, so in my opinion here, you should be fine just sending the direct link to your page. There's no, I would say super URL or anything. If you're brand registered, if you'd like, maybe a decent idea would be to set up a brand referral bonus link, a brand like attribution link, and post that on like some sort of social media profile, or and then kind of like have your friends click through there. That would be an attribution link. It will track their data as they purchase, and it should give you a bonus on the sale, even like an extra 10% bonus. Um, that would be one way. If you want to just give your friends a link to buy, that's probably how I would do it. And then otherwise, it would be nice if you could find yourself on a keyword search result. There is some different type of impact there that if you search a relevant keyword and then the customer purchases off of that keyword, that the system kind of draws that connection and helps with ranking a little bit. But otherwise, I'd probably use a brand referral bonus. And you can get to there from if you're brand registered on Amazon, the top left menu, brands, uh, and then brand referral bonus. Brands, brand referral bonus, and I'll drop a link. I'm not 100% sure if that link will work for you. Okay. Um, you have any other thoughts on that one, Ben?
No, I was about to. I mean, I read it before, and I was about to say the same. I mean, just send over the URL that you have. I mean, the direct URL for your product, and they should be able to buy it. That will give you maybe a bit of traction, but as Shane mentioned, the strategies that he mentioned are better or could be good. I mean, could be nice to start indexing for related keywords and relevant keywords for your product.
It'll help for sure, and it's normal for friends to buy on launch, but I just be careful, make sure it's not someone super related to the business or someone closely related to yourself, and not living in the same house as you. Just make sure they're friends from other areas, and it's pretty normal. Um, I think you could even ask for some reviews there, but I would treat that a little bit carefully as well. A little bit of a gray area.
Okay, what else we
All right.
have? We have Sergey. The keywords I use in alt text or alternative text for my A plus content are not indexed. What can be the reason and how to correct it? I would say maybe, I mean, we need to check, but I will say that we are utilizing not so relevant keywords, or maybe we are not aiming to the correct competitors when we are doing our research of keywords. What
Yeah,
do you
that's
think on this one,
that's
Jaime?
interesting. I feel like it should be indexing. Maybe depends on the last time, like when you did it. Like some indexing keywords can take a little bit, like probably up to 30 days. So if you just did that like a couple weeks ago, I'd maybe give it a little bit more time to live there and index itself. But we've done like tests in the past and have seen it work where you put something even off base in the alt text like Easter basket when you're nothing similar to an Easter basket, and we've seen it index from the alt text. I don't know, maybe it's worth another test from our end, but generally speaking, I think I'd maybe give it a little bit more time in there. Maybe download an alt text reader, make sure it's actually showing in the alt text area of your A plus content on the page. Make sure to actually update it properly. But it should index, maybe give it up to 30 days though.
What about what about the keywords that you have? I mean, if you have a whole different set of keywords in there, the indexing will be strong enough.
Yeah, it should still work because we'll normally put in a lot of really bottom of the barrel type stuff in the alt text that's not in the title or the bullets already. And it should index properly. And it's definitely overall, I would say the alt text is bottom of the barrel for SEO. So this isn't likely, um, or
Yeah,
definitely not
where the
killing
most
your
relevant
account or
keyword.
sales. But yeah, it's bottom of the barrel. But it should still be working. Give it time maybe, and maybe do something like I said, test out like something completely off base and see if it actually ends up getting in there as well. Um, okay, so looking next here from Serge. When connecting similar products as variations, should you make one of those variations a parent listing, or should you create a parent listing separately? So I think I know what this is asking. It's asking basically, should a child ASIN be the parent ASIN? And base basically the answer would be no here. You want the parent ASIN is all it is a placeholder. So it's not ever a product itself.
A
It's just
container.
there. It's just there to hold all the children together. Um, keep the family together basically. But it doesn't sell on its own. It's not a product of its own. So yeah, it should be separately. Oh, there's a second part to that.
Yeah, will
Um,
be. Will I be indexed for a keyword phrase if I use all the individual keywords? It consists of separately in different listings parts, title, bullets, and descriptions. Yep.
yeah, so if you had an exact keyword phrase where you had some of the words in the title and some of the words in the bullet points, you'll technically index for it. Especially with the generic keywords. The generic keywords that you guys put in the back of your listings, and hopefully you're utilizing the full 250 count you can use there, or 200 count that you can use there. It's basically any word in that string can connect to another word in the string and make whatever number of phrase exact match keywords. So you should be indexing. Yes, in this question you will index, but you would probably index more with more strength if you had the exact match keywords you were looking for or that you're talking about actually written as an exact match. It'll have a little bit more impact there. Okay, let me see if we got any new member questions below, donation below. No, okay. So we'll just move on to the next here to Jordan Lee Smith. How do you enroll into the Save 5% on any 4 qualifying items green badge promotion? Um, I can actually probably pull this one up unless you want to take it, Ben.
This is the quantity. This is the quantity discounts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and so there would be two types of quantity discounts. This looks like for all customers type of promotion here. So where you would go for that actually is, so menu again, that top left menu for everything, advertising, and then promotions, and then you would go to percentage off promotion. So this would make it available for basically anyone
Do
on
you want me to?
advertising, and I
Do you
can,
want me to
yeah,
share the screen?
yeah, go ahead, share your screen if you got that there.
I have it here.
Awesome.
Let me see. This one. Okay. I'm going to go to advertising again on the hamburger menu, then promotions. Once we are in here, we have three types of promotions. We can see more information if you click in here and then percentage off. So, yep, you need to set up the quantity of items. I mean, if you want to promote at least, I mean, for any item that they buy, you can set like at least one of the next 8 items, and you can select like the AC list in here, and that will give you the result that you are looking for. The percentage of in here, for example, 50%, and applies to the purchase items. So, and you can
Yep.
have a budget.
Yep. So you can do, buy one, or buy 5 of this one particular ASIN, you get 50% off, or whatever you do. Or you could do buy one of a particular ASIN, and then buyer
Show
gets
the full.
50% off. You can switch applies to from a purchase item to an additional item, so that you can apply the discount to a different product instead of the same one. There's a lot of you can manipulate this a lot of ways. It could be buy one of any of these 10 ASINs and you get a percent off of this other ASIN. So that would be the way to go through here. You can, I believe you can set it as a claim code, or a single use, or you can leave that open to anyone as many times as they want, as well. And then just make sure you get the scheduling right. The start and end date by default set for 1 day.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen before where it only runs for a day. Just make sure you extend the date out.
And you can have tiers in here. So if you don't want to give the same percentage to the ones that are buying one unit, you can add a tier in here, and you can say like, okay, if you buy 3, you will get 15%, and if you buy 5, you will get 20%. Again, it will apply for the list of ASINs that you select in here on this purchase items list. So
Yeah, and I think this relates to a question later down the line, so I just pulled it up. So Richard asked, can we add a promotional incentive to our listing? For example, if they buy, they get a special offer independent of the product they buy. I would think
yeah,
I would use the same section there, the percentage off section. Like I said, there's tons of ways to work that however you want. Buy 5 of this product, get percent off of this other one. Buy 1, get 10% off of any of these other 5. You can set up a ton of different ways. So
yeah, and you can set up like the ASIN in here, a different one.
yeah,
Like if
exactly.
you buy one of those, you will get a percentage off on this one.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, that should solve the questions there for both of those. But if it didn't, or you have any follow-ups, feel free to leave those in the chat. I think we're good to go to next here. So we have Mr. Sergey 01. What to do if any reasons without any changes the listing is indexing less keywords. For example, it was 1,000 and now only 200. Updated the listings and didn't help, not indexing as before. I have some slight insight here. This is a tough question though, Ben. What do you think?
I think that the market could be changing, and the search behavior could be changing on this one. Maybe that is a tough one as well, but that is what
Yeah.
it came to my mind right now.
Yeah, they're tough. I've maybe seen this one other time where just keywords felt like they were bleeding, like we were losing keywords. I looked a lot of places when that happened, and I'm long time ago, but I'm not sure we actually ever found the root cause. There's a lot that can go on there, but just thinking now, some things that I would maybe try to look at are for your generic keywords, maybe give that a refresh. Take a look at our SEO masterclass video. Just look up SEO phase. My Amazon guy should come right up, or we can get you the link. Sounds like if it's down to 200, you should try again with like a phase 1 type approach. See if you can build them back up. Something to maybe think about is your advertising. Has your advertising changed significantly in that time period as well? Have you cut out things like broad or auto campaigns? Those broad and auto campaigns are really good at just like finding those longer tail searches and bidding on those longer tailed searches that are probably a good bulk of those keywords. So, if you don't have a lot of auto or any auto or broad type stuff running, I'd maybe test some of that out to try to build the keywords back up. It could be another way, but this is a very tough question, and it's a
Yeah.
tough issue to deal with.
And just to add to that one, reading again the question, what to do if without any reason, without any change, the listing is indexing less keywords, you are not making any change for what amount of time? Maybe you have a lot of time without updating those or without checking on your SEO or on your titles. And remember that SEO and indexing for organic keywords, it's always like, it's not a one-time thing. You need to be checking on those every 30 days at least to see what is happening in there, how the trend is changing, and to be updated. So maybe that is the reason.
Really good point. Yeah, without any changes to the listing, that's a good catch. I mean, Ben's correct for sure. We shouldn't set and forget the listings. So check out that SEO video we have. If you haven't ever, that goes through all of our phases. It's a really, really nice instructional training type video for SEO. Puts our whole process out there for SEO phases. And then I would just try to refresh the listing, especially if you haven't changed title and bullets and all of that or SEO for a while. That's a good point. All right. Let's see. Serge says, what type of discount, coupon, sales price, etc. should we use at launch and why? I don't have a particular type of discount that you should use. I'd honestly say there's no real answer on what's better. I've seen some products, accounts, and for whatever reason, do really well with coupons, and some not do really well with coupons. I don't know if that's category or niche based or exactly what there's no real hard and fast rule there. So, one thing recently with an account that I helped launch, especially if you have a new Seller Central account, you can check your new seller incentives. If you have a new account within the last year, there actually are some incentives and money they give you back. So with this new account I helped launch, we actually started with a coupon because typically coupons have an extra 60-cent fee every time they get redeemed, which can be a bit of a pain on the profitability, especially if you have a cheaper product. We started this account with coupons though because Amazon had $50 in credits to go towards that 60-cent fee for coupons. So generally speaking, I would probably just start with the sale price, and I would probably test both. If you don't have like any credits available, I'd test both and see, look at the data on conversions and sales and decide what works better for you personally.
Yep, starting at a lower price point than your competitors is a good start. Always that you are always when you are launching a new product, it's always a good thing to have in mind. If you can afford it, or if you can, or you have the possibility to do it, go for it. Definitely.
Yeah, good point. Regardless of sale price or coupon, do competitor research and look at your biggest competitors and try to beat them to launch. So that's a good point.
At least for the first weeks, and then start increasing. Another question from Serge: should we write at any of these attributes? And I believe that goes in line with the previous questions to parent listings when creating and updating it. This is a nice one, and I believe that you are talking on about the backend, right? On this one, I mean, the parent is like the container, as Shane mentioned, is just like the placeholder or the place where all your chills will be living. Yeah, those things are indexing, and this is an interesting question because we push like 8 months ago or maybe 1 year ago, right, Shane?
Yeah,
Among the
yeah.
company to check on all the accounts to make sure that we are applying those things on the back end. This is important.
Yeah, as much as it's just a placeholder, the parent listing, and it's just a container, it does affect SEO and indexing as well. So yes, you should have a title, bullets, description, keywords in there. Not sure you need images, but those first four, I would definitely have all of those in there. Um, and then to that point, there was something else I wanted to add. Um, but no, that I think that basically covers it. Yeah, but add your keywords, add your title, bullets, description to the parent listing. Yeah, sometimes, okay, there it is. Sometimes there are parentages in certain categories that leave you in a display parent model. So your parentage title is actually the title that displays for all of your child listings. So in those cases, very important to have a good parent title because that's what the customers are seeing. All right.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah,
a really
just
good point.
remembered that one.
Yeah.
Certain categories like apparel, sometimes like jewelry,
Yeah, yeah,
certain
and some,
categories.
some clients go in there and say like, "Hey, what happened to my title? My title is it's showing like incorrectly, and we just made an update, and it's because they have that active." So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
nice one.
And in those cases also, the child ASIN still works. It indexes, it ranks the child title, but it's just not visible to the customer. So you just want to make the visible title, the parent title, more, you know,
No, and
relevant.
that can lead to some returns, or bad reviews because they might be. I mean, you might have like a very generic title without too much details, and maybe you have a lot of variations. So if someone purchase some of your products thinking that is a different one, you are going to receive a return and a bad review, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, good point.
yeah.
Yeah, that parent title, if you're in that type of display model, should include everything, 12 color variations or 12 size variations in the title. Um, all right, we'll move next to anti-relic here. Is there any way to exclude sales to our particular state through FBA, running into issues with California Prop 65? I saw this one before, Ben. Basically, there isn't going to be a way for you to restrict the sale to a certain state. You might be able to increase the delivery time or increase the shipping time to that state like crazy. But honestly, Amazon's pretty good at catching this. They honestly catch it more than they're supposed to. They catch people who aren't supposed to be restricted. So if you go to your listing and you actually try to deliver it to California, you might see now that it's blocked already by Amazon. So I would just go to the zip code on the listing, change it to like 90210, and see if it's available for purchase. Because if you're having issues with California Prop 65, I'm almost pretty confident that Amazon knows about it and that they've already restricted your sale there. But yeah, if not, I wouldn't do it on your own. Maybe wait for Amazon to do it. You could add the California Prop 65 stuff to the back end of the listing just to keep yourself safe and make sure you're letting Amazon know. But Amazon should take care of it on their own.
This is a good one. Drone moments. Single keyword campaigns, 120 units sold over a period of 90 days. How to optimize for top of searches, ROSPP. Should I use the 90 days to adjust the percentage or last 30 days? Any suggestions? Thank you. Yep. I mean, you can utilize the 90 days data and the 30-day data for recent changes to adjust your strategy. That is for sure something that you might do for PPC optimization. Uh, Optimize your bids based on performance to maximize the ROI, and you need to add you need to remember, I mean, I'm getting back to the basics, but you need to add negative keywords regularly, update them to reduce irrelevant traffic. You need to refine targeting. You need to test different match types, exact, phrase broad, to find the best for you and to enhance the top of searches. Improve listings. I mean, optimize with high quality images and detailed descriptions, because remember that the competency in there, it's going to be rough. And always do A/B testing. I'm always trying to do that. Test different listing elements to increase engagement. Try to test new images before you apply it, so you can have data to back up the decision, and the utilize promotions and bundle products can increase average order value to improve the ROS. So those are some tips that I have for this one. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, so when it comes to ads,
A lot of factors.
yeah, a lot of factors. I would look at this question a lot differently if I saw, on each campaign, the CTR, the impressions, the clicks. Like there's so much data with advertising that can point you in different directions. And so, one of my best suggestions is make sure you're looking at all the data. How many clicks did it take to get those 120 units sold? Is the ACoS, and I'm assuming based on the question that the campaign's running well for you now and it's efficient. Um, and so now you're trying to optimize for different areas of the search page. Um, the best way to optimize would be to test, throw a bid modifier on the top of search if you want to see how it performs, and then check back in a week how that top of search placement has performed. Maybe give it a small 10-20% boost to the bid. Um, but, and looking at the time period to make your decisions, we normally look at several time periods, and I think it depends on how much you're making changes to your campaigns. If you haven't made any changes to your campaigns in 90 days, the 90-day view will be perfectly fine. But if you made changes to your campaigns 30 days ago and 7 days ago, you like to pull different ranges to see, okay, this is the 7-day range, and this includes the changes I made a week ago, and how are we looking at this period? This is the 30-day range. This includes those changes I made. How did we look then? And then the 90-day period. It's a lot to keep track of with PPC, but I think several date ranges, especially if you're making several changes on several different times or different times of the month, um, give you different insights. It's important to see what each change on its own did, or try to evaluate what each change did. Um, yeah, I mean, I would try putting a top of search modifier on that, on one of those single keyword campaigns that are running efficiently, at an efficiency that you like, and see how that top of search placement performs over the next week or two.
Reality.
Okay, we got a two-parter. Hi, I have a question regarding the repository summary report. The report has 3 totals: income, expenses, transfers. I'd assume that income minus expenses would be the total for transfer, but that never is the case. It always fluctuates. Sometimes it's more and sometimes it's less. Why? Interesting. So let me pull up a summary report just to look on my own end here.
I believe that it's more detailed than that. I mean, it takes like more. I mean, it's not like simply income minus expenses, because they are taking in account a lot of factors in there.
Yeah, and so income, expenses, transfers, and so transfers would be the money coming to you. And you would think income less expenses, that's your proceeds, and that should be the money being transferred to you. If you look in your payments, maybe this could be the case for your issue. I'm not 100% sure, but if you look into your payments console, you may see an account level reserve. Um, and that'll probably be the difference, either the minus or the plus off of what you're expecting, is from that account level reserve. And basically what that is Amazon will hold money, will hold some of your net proceeds, some settlement periods. They'll just hold on to a portion of it, or they'll hold on to all of it, because they're expecting that you're going to need to make payments back, or because you're not a seller who's been with Amazon long enough and they don't have a trusting relationship with you yet, so they hold some money. But they always roll it over. So you'll see in settlement periods, you have a beginning balance that equals the account level reserve from the previous period. And so sometimes you probably have a higher payout. Sometimes you have a lower payout because they're holding money. Sometimes the higher payout because they finally gave you that money they were holding. I think that would be what's going on here. I'd look at account level reserves and payments. Okay, so we can go next to Thomas, I think, in Realty. Let us know if you don't have any of those issues or if it's still something different, and we can take a further look. And if we don't get to it, or anyone that we don't get to, please feel free to email podcast@myamazonguy.com, and we'll get your question answered.
An interesting one. Thomas, hello Thomas. Launch a brand new ASIN. It ships free via FBM, 2-day handling time. It has a reasonable price compared to category, but I do not have the buy box. No other sellers in there. How can I get the buy box to show?
Yep. My best answer is to take a page out of whose book was that? We were talking earlier about the having some friends. Some friends, maybe get some purchases in, get some orders in. This looks like a brand new product, especially if it wasn't and it's not sold on other channels, Walmart, Etsy, Shopify, something like that, where Amazon can pull the reference price and like know for sure that this is a good offer for customers. This will happen with new product launches on Amazon. They're just not sure this is a good offer. So you do need to probably get a couple orders in. I would suspect with one or even two orders that you'll have buy box click in for the ASINs that get ordered. Um, so if you have friends who would be willing to support, who are unrelated to the company, unrelated to you personally, you should be safe there. And I just kindly ask them to place an order. And that should get your buy box, honestly. I think that's probably your best path forward. You could wait for an organic customer to make the purchase, but so many customers don't know what to do when there's no buy box. They think the product's not available, it's not buyable. They just don't understand how that buy box works. So I would see if you can get a friend to do it.
Next one, brand story tips. What are most includes the order? Recommend Amazon models or making own images? Well, things to include in the brand story, the brand origin, the mission in there, what makes your product unique, focus on your customers, uh, and call to action. You can place in there some clickable links or some clickable images to your products, so you can start uh, promoting them inside there. And the other question is like, recommend Amazon models or making own images. I'm not sure if I'm understanding well that one, but I will always recommend to do own images.
Yeah, so I feel like the recommended modules is probably this like same question as when you were saying the how did we get our start? What makes our business unique? Like that's one of the Amazon template
Hmm,
modules.
got it.
A lot of
No.
people use that. We use that when we make brand stories. If you can get anything in there, you don't have to use the same questions. You can actually edit the questions to be customized too and make more sense for you. But that's a really good one to have. Otherwise, I'd make your own images for the background and for the rest of the things. And the number one thing I'd include is what Ben mentioned is the product grid. 4 ASINs per card. You can put a little title in there on what it is, cross link as many products as possible. Your brand story is going to go on all of your branded product ASINs at once in most cases. And so you'll connect them all together. Customers clicking through that, hopefully you get some cross sales from. And then each of those images, we're talking alt text earlier, even each ASIN image will have another 100 characters of alt text you can add. So brand stories have a ton of alt text that will go on every listing, a lot of cross sell opportunity. Um, Honestly, I would just get something you're happy with that links to all the products and maybe flesh it out, make it perfect later. But it is very impactful to have a brand story.
Yeah. Yeah. And what Shane mentioned about changing the questions in there, I can't remember the default questions, but sometimes they don't fit with your brand. So maybe you want to change them. And when I started working on Amazon, I was always wondering if we could change those, because I was thinking like, this doesn't make sense for this brand, like how do we get here? Something like that. And maybe you want to ask something different. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
something to have in
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Uh,
It's kind of limited. You don't got a lot of characters to use on that card either. It's like you got to be very very short with your answers, but
Yeah.
that would be our suggestions. So let's move
Is
on to Backdrop Express here.
Do you want to read that one, or
Yeah, I
I
got
can
it.
read it? Got
Is
it.
there any rhyme or reason as to why the same seller of same product is at the same price always is the first one
Do we
listed?
have Do we have the buy box?
Seller, same seller of the same product as I.
It's like they have like the same content, same product. Oh, same seller
Same seller of same product. It might.
as
I'm not 100% sure on the question, and maybe you need to send a clarifying point. But my first assumption is that you have FBA and FBM, and so there's two sellers in the buy box. They're both you. One is ships from Amazon. One is ships from you. And so if you have the FBM and FBA offer at the same time, you'll have the same seller in the buy box on the same product at the same price. But the best offer is going to winning because it has a faster delivery time.
yeah, and
But if that's not the question, definitely add some more there.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not really sure on that one. I was about to pull out the buy box cheat sheet. So
Yeah, the buy box cheat sheet. And if you have an ASIN and anyone wants to share an ASIN, they're comfortable with that. We can always take a quick peek as well.
yeah, yeah, that will be funny as well. What what do you think it's the best approach in order to get more reviews for a new product that you want to launch on Amazon? You can always utilize buying enrollment. I'm always pushing for that. I know, Shane, but I love buying. I don't know why. It has works like wonders for me. Always when I try it for any account, it give us a push, but a bust. But there are some third party services that can help you on that as well. Like we utilize Merchant Spring. We already said that before, and there are some like a tool that helps you to send like an extra email, extra of the one that Amazon already sends, because Amazon sends one when a customer buys from you, but we can send an extra email to our customers to try to convince them to leave a review in there as well. So those are two things that came
Yeah.
to my mind really quick right now. I don't know if
Yeah,
you have something else
those
to say.
are the two totally legal, clean ways to get reviews, and that's the only ways that we'll honestly suggest. So Vine, for paying for reviews, to Vine reviewers, and then you can do the review request like Ben was mentioning. You can do it within Amazon without a third-party app. It's just a little bit annoying. You have to click every single time on every order. Merchant Spring or Helium 10 have the review management software where they'll have it automatically send out. You can do it, 7 days after they receive the order, 10 days after they receive the order, whatever makes sense for how your product's used. And then the only thing I backtrack on with what Ben said is the Vine. I wouldn't do it for every type of product. There are certain types of products I'd like to stay away from on Vine. So anything supplements, so anything that takes time to see results or takes extra effort on the customer's end to see results. Like a supplement, usually you need to incorporate fitness with that, and some people think they can just take the supplement and it'll work, and that's not the truth, and you'll get bad reviews for that. Flavored things can be tough. You have a lot of preference in flavor, and you can get some bad reviews there. And then scented things, you can get a lot of bad reviews with like candles and scented stuff like that in Vine as well. So those are some I would be careful with. But if you're super confident your product tastes amazing or smells amazing and you want to put it in Vine, um, then you can always give it a shot.
And I don't know if this goes related. It's just an idea that came to my mind right now. Check on the Product Opportunity Explorer. Recently, Amazon added in there. This is not the one I want to check. Wait, I'm searching for the page because I want to pull it out, but to pull it up. Product Opportunity Explorer. Okay, if you go to growth, then Product Opportunity Explorer. I lost that page. You can check by niche how they are doing, how the products are doing, which are the things that the customers are searching for the most, as Shane mentioned. Like, for example, the scents are sometimes important for some specific product, or the color or things like that. And maybe you would like to take a look inside the product opportunity explorer to see or to gather some insights from there for you to have a stronger launch.
Yeah, that's a newer page, but it is a really cool one. Get insights on the entire niche and how customers, like your category of products. Do they like a certain color? Do they like a certain flavor? Is there a certain size that's a better preference for people? There's a lot of nice little insights in there. That's a
I'm
good
sharing
call
my
out.
screen. I just
Yep, I shared the
is
link as well for everyone in the chat.
okay. I believe that customer review insights. No, we don't have it in here. Sometimes it's not showing, but you can utilize like this one, product return insights. So they are uh, telling you the smell is important, and they are returning that, the color, the most dry, the leather. We are analyzing a green soap right now. So if you would like to, maybe it's something that it will work to take a look at. And we have a question from some members. So let's go with Rosina.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm selling on an ASIN FBA as authorized me to seller with brand permission. If the main seller is no more selling on that ASIN, could Amazon close the ASIN or allow me to continue selling? Okay, the client is closing the listing. The seller,
That's
sorry.
that's all you're listing now. And you should be able, if you have the authorized rights owner access to brand registry and everything, you should be able to go straight to add a product and add that ASIN into your catalog. Amazon might give you issues, and you should be able to show them through brand registry, hey, I'm a registered brand owner, or I'm a registered agent. I can make changes and I have permission from the brand. You may even, be able to get the brand to sign something for you if there are issues being caused by Amazon. But this is your listing now. If you have access to the brand, you should be able to sell on it, and own it, change the title, price. You might have some issues with the price, be held
I
to MAP
guess
pricing, but um, otherwise you should be under your control, and you should be able to add it. And you don't want to start a new one and lose that sales history or any reviews on there.
I guess this is a congratulations for you, Rosina.
Yeah,
You-
congratulations. That sounds awesome. Yeah,
let's go. Let's go to Brian now. Hey guys, launching a new version of a product. Should I add it as a version, as a variation to the old listing? Old listing has 500k BSR. Mm, nope. I would suggest you to add it to the old variation. I mean, we already answered a question similar than that. If you have good performance on the old variation and you would like to take advantage of that, even when you don't have stock anymore on that one, that is an important thing. Or if you are thinking about not selling that one anymore, you can take advantage of those.
yeah. One thing I would maybe you could go either way here, and I think we've talked about it a few times. You can get the immediate effect of those reviews and help the conversion rate basically by putting it in the parentage. But we've talked about the honeymoon period last week a little bit. If you want, like, it's still a really great strategy as well to launch it on its own for a few weeks and do the Vine enrollment. Really try to push it on its own, and you might even be able to get a better BSR, 500k BSR on the old listing. Um, Sounds like you could actually probably push this one a little bit further with that honeymoon period and then merge them together. Because just always, take into account when you merge them together, they're gonna start averaging their rank together. Kind of, they're gonna be working together for
Mm.
rank. So you're immediately going to stick your new listing probably with a 500k BSR if you put them together. I'd be interested in trying to push the new one for a few weeks, to see if you can get better BSR on it and then merge them together to get all the reviews. But either way, honestly, either way works. And I think it's a matter of live testing. If you launch the other one standalone, the new one, and it's just not getting any orders or traction, and you want attached, you'll get help with traffic to the listing, and you'll get help with conversion on the listing by merging them.
Yeah. And remember, guys, that it's always a matter of placing them together. And if that doesn't work, you can break the parentage and go back to what you had before. So
Yeah, you can always put it back. It's you know, a lot of Amazon is test, guess, and check on your hypothesis, and then read the data and let the data, you know, drive your end decision.
a lot of things can vary depending on the category in here or the kind of or the type of product that you are selling. Just keep that in mind. Okay, maybe there are some products that doesn't go well parented. You know, they do better by their own. I don't know why. It's something inside Amazon, and maybe someone else is selling the same product under a variation, and they're doing amazingly. So, yep, I agree with what Shane says.
Awesome. Okay, so I don't think any new member or donate
No,
questions. We have to go back and get back in line here.
this one. This one is the next one. Can we use social media
Social
ads with
media
Amazon
ads.
PPC? Sorry, I cannot
Were
hear.
you
I
answering
cannot
that one?
listen. I cannot listen anymore. Can we use social media ads with Amazon PPC? Uh, yeah, kind of. Uh, we can utilize it. I mean, there are a lot of programs that are pushing for this. For example, if you are advertising on social media, you can always utilize brand referral enrollment program, and that way you can bring traction to your listings with attribution links on your social media. You know, so you are paying for advertising outside Amazon, and Amazon is going to pay you for bring traffic pay you for bring traffic to your listings because you are going to be participating for a 10% discount on fees, and they are going to be like, I believe that is in the next month. They are going to give you that 10% if you, depending on the amount of sales that you are bringing to the table with those
Yep.
efforts.
I posted it earlier. I'll post the link here again. I would use brand referral bonus. It sounds like you're using social media ads, so you're already doing like Instagram or Facebook ads or TikTok ads, and so you should just include the Amazon link. And if you include the Amazon attribution link, it's going to help you pay a little bit back on what the ads cost you on those other platforms, just because you'll get that 10% bonus on sales. See how many clicks, how many orders, and how much bonus you get. You just want to generate a different referral tag for each different social media. So Instagram tag, you want to generate the tags at the product level as well. So if you have a tag leading to one product, it should have its own link, and then another tag leading to another product, its own link. But you can
Yep.
set up a bunch back there, make a portfolio of campaigns and whatnot, and track it all. That's how I would do it as well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important to separate them because you will have better track. And another thing is that you can utilize those inside your website as well, the attribution links. So that's a good one. And I believe that goes in line with the next one. KSAP MO2. You want to take that?
Yeah, is there a way to get access to the content creator, so the creator connections program, if you have not been invited? Yeah, so we've been doing this for some people who have not been invited yet. As long as you're a brand registered seller, you should be able to get invited, but we've seen on a lot of accounts, some have it, some don't. The way we've gotten access unlocked is to raise a case with advertising support. So you go to advertising, raise a support case, and just request access. Tell them you'd like to set up a campaign and you want to get creators. Generally speaking, it should work. You might need to just push back a few times. This is kind of how support works. But generally speaking, it should work. I mean, this is good for Amazon. You want to bring traffic to Amazon, and I don't see any reason why they should reject people. Um, but like I said, you might just need to push back even like 3 to 5 times until they unlock it.
I believe that we answered that one on the last
Story, I
question
don't
and answer. Cora Buckelman. Hey, I have a question. My store got authenticity verification. How do I avoid this? Do I need to create a new listing or like private label listing, but not a generic? I have a question. Authenticity verification. Are you talking about transparency program? I mean, they applied that to you, or Yeah, can you develop further on this one? I'm not sure if I'm understanding this one. Do you have it?
Yeah, I feel like I need further clarification on that, on the authenticity verification. I don't know if there's a account health flag or like an account potential suspension flag or something like that, or if what exactly it is. So yeah, if you could expand on it, or if we can't fully expand on it in here, maybe you can even send a little screenshot of what you
Yeah.
see to that podcast at myamazonguy.com. And then we'll maybe be able to get you a better answer. But yeah,
Good.
I don't know how to answer that one right now either.
Okay, Abdul Rahman Khan. To offer a Prime exclusive discount, the discounted price must be the lowest customer bought price for the product in the past 30 days. Yep. You need to, and you need to think ahead. Now, that was my advice for another client the other day. He was asking like, "Hey, can we lower the price right now and then set up a Prime exclusive discount below that?" I mean, Amazon is doing that as a measure of security to not misleading the customers or the buyers. So yeah, you need to have. You will need to base on your last 30-day price. Okay, so and you will need to go lower than that, but you cannot go. I mean, you cannot have like lowering the price on the last 15 days and then try to. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
The
I
prime
just pulled that
exclusive.
straight from the page. Yep.
That's correct. Must be lower than the lowest price for the ASIN in the past 30 days. The lowest price in the last 30 days is the lowest order price for that ASIN in that period, including all deal, promotional, and sell prices across all merchants. So, yeah, the answer is a yes. But if you would like to apply a strategy in there, think ahead about the prime days or the high season dates when you would like to set a prime exclusive discount that maybe you can plan ahead, lower your price 45 or 40 days before or 31 days, I don't know, to be sure, and then you can increase it, or you can work with that one.
Exactly. Yeah, we should be expecting Prime Day, guys, like July 10th to 15th area. We don't know exactly yet, but that's part of planning ahead, is you don't want to be running a big discount 2 weeks from now on June 14th. If you're planning on doing a Prime Day discount with a Prime exclusive or something like that, you're going to restrict yourself, and you might be stuck with just like being able to do a coupon on Prime Day if you have had your sale prices recent.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's there we go. Next question, also from Abdul. What does the awareness index within brand metrics measure? It's a good question. Awareness index.
What does the awareness index within brand metrics measure? I believe I need further.
Oh, and this is maybe one I haven't actually seen, the awareness index within brand metrics. I went to our brand analytics to see if it would be somewhere in there. But you might even need to point me, Abdul, to exactly where you're looking at, and maybe I'll learn something new, or maybe I'm forgetting. Interesting. Awareness index.
Yeah, Abdul, if you can develop further on that one, or if you can point us there, or on where you are checking, uh, that's nice. And it's shout out to Courtney Limbeldon, Ben, and Shane.
Hi,
Yeah.
Courtney. Hi, Courtney. Thank you for hopping in.
uh, yeah, let's go back to Abdul. Sorry, I just saw that message
No,
coming
that's
in.
fine. And we might even need we might need to circle there. If you guys could help us check to see if any of these people we asked to circle back give us some extra info, that'd be really helpful. I'm just trying to find this. I can't even find it. We'll go to Zaid here for now. How can I delete the new listing created when enrolled in the manufacturer barcode? So I'm assuming you created an FBA ASIN and it's enrolled to use the manufacturer barcode, and you'd rather use the FNSKU Amazon barcode for your labeling. Two things. One, even if it's enrolled in the manufacturer barcode, you should be able to go to your manage all inventory and go to the drop down arrow next to the edit button and print item label. So you'll be able to print the item label and it'll show just the ASIN, and that'll work for Amazon. If you can print and stick those on, they'll accept that. If you're asking because your products are manufactured already with some other barcode, you would just need to go through the list process again, add a product. You could even do it manually. Type the ASIN you want to add, set it as FBA, go through the price, the new SKU name, all that jazz. And then at the very last step before you submit, it will say labeling method, and you should be able to change there from Amazon barcode to manufacturer barcode or manufacturer barcode to Amazon barcode. But in some cases, Amazon makes you use the Amazon barcode. There shouldn't be any cases where they make you use a manufacturer barcode, though. So you should be able to switch that. And you would just need a new SKU and then delete the old one afterwards, probably. Like I said, just print the ASIN label is what I would do from the manufacturer barcode listing. You don't technically need the UPC barcode. You can still print the label that just has the ASIN on it. Okay. Hopefully that answers that question as well. You go ahead, Ben.
Richard Barron. 3 of the products are picking up the incorrect category as there does not seem to be a way to change it. The definition of the product is coming from the brand owner, which is not us. That's a tough one because if you are not owning the listing, Amazon is not going to allow you to do direct changes. So you might need to have to reach out to the owner, talk with him, and discuss about what you think the new category will be a better one, and maybe you would like to support that with some data. Richard Barron is saying that they just sign up on Amazon, so maybe that is going to be difficult for you. I don't know what's your take on this one, Shane.
I mean, if we're not like a registered owner or brand registry owner, like we just saw in one of those previous questions, it's not your listing, it's not your ASIN. You don't really have the control to make changes onto it. All you can do is post your offer and your price, and that's about it. I would try as well what Ben said, if it's at all possible, to try to reach out, show the brand owner what impact the wrong category is having on their visibility or on their sales, and try to get them to update to the new category. And who knows, depending on what products you're selling, maybe there's a chance that you get to form a relationship and become a registered owner, kind of like that other question we had, and then you can make the changes on your own. But you are kind of hand tied at the moment, and you have to just either accept what's there or try to contact them.
The weekly update. Do you want to take that one?
Sure. For product launch, when giving discounts and coupon, is it better to have 15% off or $2 off, for example? Yeah, this gets into like I think more of like a customer psychology type of question. So one or the other in terms of like Amazon's algorithm or any system's algorithm, there's not going to be a difference. But in terms of how the customer perceives it, that's tough to say. I feel like maybe the percent off, going with the larger number in a lot of cases usually looks better. So that 15% just looks better than the $2. I think, in my opinion, I would go with the larger number and go with the percent off.
That the next one is a good question, David Fulmer, and I'm not really sure about this one, but I'm going to take it. I had a subscribe and save for an ASIN, but was removed. I kept existing subscribers, but can't add new subscribers. If I transfer those subscribers to a new SKU in that ASIN, would the new SKU be eligible for new subscribe and save subscribers? That's a good one. I'm not really sure. I know that you can transfer those to a new SKU, and I will suggest you to try it always. But I never tried before to transfer those to a new SKU in the same ASIN to see. I mean, Yeah, to
It
see if
should.
that will
I think you
work.
should be fine, but yeah, you definitely have to put in the transfer request. I think they actually added a button for it now on the subscribe and save dashboard. There used to be no button, and just you had to know how to do it. So there's a button there now where you can go and request that transfer. Very important for anyone with subscribe and save and multiple SKUs. If you're cycling through your inventory, to switch that over to the one that has inventory. When the SKU runs out that the subscriptions are on, and then they try to process the order on the subscribe and save, you're going to start losing subscriptions as those orders can't be fulfilled. So definitely try to transfer. The new SKU should be eligible for new subscribe and save subscriptions. I don't see any issues coming there, so you should be fine. Sweet. So from National Cancer Screen, tried to load 2 new color variants of my branded products to current listings. Keep getting error 8572 and 8576 regarding UPC conflict. Amazon wants GSI proof, but why if I already loaded originals without? Do you want to take that, Ben? I might have some additional insights, but you can take that, I think.
Amazon wants GSI proof, but why if I already load originals without? Yeah, you will need to work on a yeah.
You'll need to
Yeah,
show proof, and I don't know why
yeah.
Amazon's selective. You listed others that worked fine, and then this one's not working fine.
Yeah, Amazon
Yeah.
is going to be asking you for those certificates, and if you don't want, if you don't have like GS1 certificate for those, maybe you will need to buy those UPCs from the GS1 official site. Then you will need to work on a UPC change process. That is something that we do very often, if we can be fair. But yeah, Amazon is always like that, and keep in mind that they are going to be asking you for a lot of different kind of certificates as you go, so it depends on the category, on the market that you are selling right now. They are not going to be only asking, maybe they are not asking you for some certificates right now, and you will be wondering why in the future they are asking you if you are selling, like, if you have like 1 year selling the same product and they're just asking for that. Amazon is like that. They are always doing like some randomly checks, and yeah, we never know.
Yeah, so for one, that UPC code has to be registered to you on GS1, and hopefully it is. And if it is, you should have a certificate on your GS1 account to show to Amazon to prove to them that you own it. And that's what I would do with the support case. And then secondly, it sounds like you said a UPC conflict. So like you could go to this link I'm posting, type that UPC in, search it up when like as if you're listing a product, and see if for some reason one of your other products or one of your or another seller somehow used your UPC code already. That could be also what's happening if someone listed a product with that UPC code. Um, so I always try to double check, make sure it's not already used on Amazon, make sure it's registered to you. And if it is, and it's not already on Amazon, you should be able to get through support with certificate to get them to allow you to use it. Okay. David Fulmer. I'm selling FBA SKUs and I'm considering adding FBM SKUs to the same ASIN. Do FBM SKUs mess with the search algorithm of the FBA SKUs on the same listing, or do they coexist just fine? They'll coexist beautifully. This is the recommended way to manage inventory. If you want an extra layer of protection on FBM, you can add a shipping price to your fulfilled by merchant SKUs, and that'll work for you. But 99% of the time, if your FBA is in stock, your FBA is going to be the buy box winner. But it's nice to have the FBM there just in case you go really low stock on FBA or you run out of stock FBA. You have the FBM to default to and continue orders without your listing going completely inactive. Once a listing goes completely inactive and out of stock, you'll watch the BSR hour by hour just go up, 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 and get worse. So yeah, definitely would do that. Add a shipping price if you need to, but FBA should win almost all the time. No
Thanks
problem,
to you.
Serge. I'm gonna jump over here really quick. Nabiel said, "Where is Noah?" Noah is out on a much-deserved vacation at the moment. So Noah should be back in our podcast for next Friday. If you're looking for Noah for any questions, he should be back here next Friday.
And let's go to this question from Nabil. Does changing your Amazon product link to keyword help you rank better?
So this is probably due to the strategy we had talked about. You can add a 5 keyword string into your hyperlink, into your link of your Amazon page. So I don't believe that that 5-word string is going to help you with Amazon keyword ranking per se. But it is a really great strategy for, like, say, Google ranking. People searching on Google for certain products, and having that 5 keyword string in your link is going to help you show up on a Google search engine a lot easier. It's more of a Google search SEO strategy than an Amazon search SEO strategy, if that's what we're talking about, that 5-word string in the URL. Okay, let's see if we backtrack over to.
It seems that Cora is okay. We can go with Michael. Cora was developing further the question, but yeah, we can
Oh,
go next. This one, like she's talking about products for products got authenticity complaints. Like they got authenticity complaints. The original question was this one.
ah. So yeah, they're probably showing up as account health violations, authenticity complaints on the products. Create a new listing or like a private label, but I wouldn't be creating a new listing or anything like that. Those complaints will come in, especially as volume increases. More than likely, you're selling your own product, so more than likely someone or a few customers, when they return the product, just selected one of the options that was like that triggered this warning, and they maybe didn't even know the impact they were having. But I would be appealing that in account health, and trying to show Amazon that you're selling authentic products. It's not counterfeit, and show them like real live pictures of what you're selling. They could even, if you're an FBA, do a bin check for you and verify the authenticity of the products or something. But I would be appealing that in account health. I would definitely wouldn't immediately try to relaunch or do anything like that. I'd try to save the ASIN first.
Okay. Thank you for explaining further on that, Cora. Now let's go back to Michael. When launching a brand new ASIN, what is your 30, 60, 90-day launch plan to build sales velocity and reviews? Example, start the product at a loss ladder to build momentum, break even or loss on first order. Yeah, that is one of the things that we could be suggesting for a strong launch. Having a good listing, good elements in there for since the beginning, having your keyword research ready to go with your advertising, etc. And yeah, starting at a lower price point. I believe that we mentioned that earlier on this.
We did, and we did last week as well. I'm not sure that Michael was here last week, so I can just quickly pull that back up. But yeah, so our first 8-week strategy is right here, and so that's going to cover your 30, 60, 90 day on at least the pricing strategy. And it probably for most people is going to start you off at a little bit of a loss. So this is the ladder, kind of 50, 40%, 35, 30, 25, 20, 10. Then by month 2, you're at your target price. If that's feasible, this is a really great way to launch a listing in terms of the pricing strategy. And then to Ben's point, you want as much of everything done as possible before day 1. So that would include images, title, bullet descriptions, search terms, A+ content, the whole 9 yards. And then Michael also said, when launching a new product, do you target 1 to 2 mid-tier keywords versus targeting the top number 1, top number 2 keywords to build moderate momentum, build at lower competition? Generally speaking, that I was going to go into the second part with the 30, 60, 90 day launch is going to be really heavy in the SEO strategy that we talked a little bit about. So you're launching, you're starting in phase 1 at SEO, which is really geared at building a lot of phase 1 and phase 2 is really focused on just building your index keywords up as much as possible. So within phase 1 of SEO, you do a competitor research. You take a look at your top 10 competitors, and we take a look at what keywords have high search volume, and do they also rank highly on. So we know our competitors rank, all really highly on this keyword, and it has a really good search volume. Um, and then you can kind of get like a list of maybe even 10 to 20 keywords that are like your most highly important keywords to start the listing off. And so again, that YouTube video, which I've mentioned now a few times, I'll make sure I get the direct link for you guys. Will be a really good one to kind of look at in terms of SEO launching, competitor research, and whatnot. Yeah. And then follow up again from Michael. Do you find PPC bid ranges for the same keyword will differ based on your product selling price? I feel a higher price will demand a higher PPC bid for the same keyword and same product. So no, I wouldn't say so generally. Amazon's advertising and bidding is like a giant auction house. So maybe you're the only expensive product bidding on a cheap keyword, and that means you have more room to bid than some of the other competitors do because they're cheaper priced. But the bidding is going to be based on every other seller's bid. Um, the recommended bid ranges, I don't put my full trust in. Amazon's going to recommend a bid higher because they get the money.
Yeah.
So I don't always trust the
Yeah.
bid ranges they give you. But the bid is determined, and the winner of the bid's determined based on everyone else's bids. So it's not your product price isn't going to have a bearing on what the bid is, per se. Let me pull on my screen and get that YouTube video before I forget. But you can start on the next one, Ben.
Oh, I was talking muted. Viper 1213, thanks for the tip. How do I add FBM listing to FBA, and how can I use that if I'm running out of stock, if I don't have stock at home? Do you want to develop further on this one, Viper? I mean, usually we just need to create a new listing and activate it for FBA, and then prepare the the shipment to get there. But if you are running out of stock and you don't have stock at home, that is going to that is not going to work, because you are not going to have anything to send. So that's why I'm asking you to develop further on this one.
Yeah, if you you want to add the FBM version as backup to your FBA version, you typically want to have some inventory reserved in your home warehouse or at your home for when that gets kicked in, and it defaults to that FBM. So when an order comes in, you can ship it out. I also think that's what he's asking here, Ben.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you just need to have some kept on hand to utilize that strategy and that best practice. So just keep holding a few at home, and then you can kick on FBM, and just I would suggest keeping your quantity accurate for the fulfilled by merchant, just because you don't want to have issues where you have to cancel orders because
That's
you didn't
correct.
actually have the inventory to send.
You are going to start receiving like bad rates from your customers if you cannot like fulfill their orders with your APM listing. That is a good strategy when you are running out of stock, of course. Always. Why? Because you are not going to lose the traction that you already earn. The BSR is not going to go crazy or things like that, because your listing will be running. And I believe that you can extend like your handling time for when you think that you are going to receive the inventory, or when you are going to be able to have it, and then reduce it. So you can start like winning traction again. But if you don't know, or if you are not sure about when you are going to be receiving, or when you are going to have new inventory, that is going to be a tough one.
That's
And it could be,
exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, what you could do is grab your FBM SKU and put it on like a 10-day handling time, if that helped you, when an order comes in FBM, now you're gonna have 10 days to get it together and get it shipped out. Like you could really do whatever you want there. Obviously, the better handling time, the better results. Um, when it does kick into FBM, but whatever you need to do to make sure you can get the order out and get it shipped in time, but also having that FBM backup will be really helpful.
120.
120. I got a hard stop soon. But we missing any questions? Or do
I believe that Roro, oh no, to share hard, yeah, what are the best practices for increasing price? Maybe we lost this one. What are the
Tushar?
best to share hard? Yeah, what are the best practices for increasing price? I lost buy box when I raise prices. Thoughts on coupons being suppressed? No reference price errors, even though list price is updated. 90-day median price.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah. Best suggestion is do not increase your price by more than 10% at a time. That can usually save you from getting the buy box suppressions. And so if you're currently buy box suppressed, you might need to bring it back down to whatever level you'll get that buy box at again, and then slowly increase. 9%, 10% increase. Let yourself get a few orders at that increased price before you increase again. And
Will
then
you go on that one? Will you go like 48 hours, or better to go like for 1 week?
yeah, that's tough. I think as long as there's at least like a handful of orders there, you should be safe. But like if I wanted to give a hard and fast rule, I'd probably say per week. Let it go a
Hmm.
week and then redo it. Um, I think you're running more of a risk if you go daily or every other day. The buy box will just get suppressed, and they're probably using like the 30-day average selling price. Too sharp would be my best guess. When they're looking at that. Um, and as you continue to raise prices, a lot of people are raising prices right now, so you're definitely not alone. But just continue to watch your conversion rate would be the number one metric I would look at. Is your conversion rate just dying off as you increase the price? If so, maybe you wanna stop increasing at an earlier point. If your conversion rate's taking too much of a hit. But best suggestions less than 10% at a time. Let yourself get some orders at the new price before you go up again. And then coupon suppressions with no reference price errors, even though list price is updated, is an odd one. I would probably fix the buy box. The coupon might fix itself as well. Um, but support could be a good resource to try and push your case and fight your case there.
Yep. I
Anyone?
believe I
See.
believe that I believe that we are not missing any questions. But if we okay, that is one I didn't say. RB, during the honeymoon phase, is it true you don't need to match the exact sales as top three sales in order to reach the top three, since this special phase gives you extra boost? Well, are you talking about? I don't know if I'm understanding well, but are you talking about matching the same amount of sales that the top three competitors are doing to be appearing on the top three places for that specific category or in that specific niche? I believe that is not true. I mean, you don't need to match.
Sense for me too. I think that
What
makes sense.
was?
You're asking if during the honeymoon phase reach top three. I think that's what's being asked here, and I would agree. Although I have no idea on what you do need to reach the top three, or the sales velocity of the number three seller to get to number three when you're a new listing. You get a lot of love, and a lot of help. You'll find new listings in the top 100, and they're nowhere near the sales velocity of the rest of the top 100. It's just that they're kind of new listings getting that extra push.
Yeah.
I think that was the
Yeah.
question, and yeah.
Got it.
Richard, reverting back to the former question I asked, the offer is not a discount product. I don't see where to enter that. So, offer's not a discount, but a service they would receive when purchasing the Amazon product. I would probably, depending on what the service is, you might be entering a type of gray area, but like manufacturers that offer warranties and stuff, add that as as an insert to the package. Service is, I would be a little bit curious. But you could put a product insert with some sort of QR code. You're talking about. And maybe this is like a subscription type service. A subscription service tied to it. A product insert that gives them some sort of way to enable the discount. Packages that should be generally safe. Generally speaking, with inserts, you just don't want to ask for reviews or even mention reviews. And you normally don't want to offer a discount on products outside of Amazon. But if it's just for this service, it might be a little light gray of an area. But I think you're completely safe.
Yeah. I believe that we missed some questions, of course, because we had a lot of comments today. Thank you so much for participating. We are going to be checking on those. I mean, you can send them inside the the email. You already have that email, and we are going to finish with this one. For Prime Day sale from Long Tran, for Prime Day sale, if I have two child variation for a listing, should I offer discount for both child, or should I only offer discount for one to keep my listing ranking? Yeah, you could offer a discount for both, and I don't believe that
it's not going to affect your ranking. I would offer a discount on both, considering you have good inventory for both. Say you have 10,000 units of red and you only got 200 of black, and just then I would just discount the red and let them try to sell through and make things even. So I'd maybe just base it off of maybe what you need to sell more quickly, but otherwise yeah, I'd discount both, and your rank should be unaffected. It won't have an impact in the way you're thinking. But anyway, I do need to kind of hard stop here. So just before we end the podcast, everybody, just want to take a look at our website. Just want to show you a little bit about my Amazon guy if you are new here. We offer a ton of services, coaching calls, full service management, SEO optimization, trademarks, you name it, we pretty much have it. We just sell our standard operating procedures as well if you want to run things on your own but use our processes. Lots of stuff here, myamazonguy.com. Check us out, and we'll see you next week. We'll have Noah back on the podcast. I don't know if either of us will be returning, but it's been a pleasure, and we'll have Noah back again next week.
It was funny. Have a great weekend. See you later.
It was fun, guys.
Thanks for joining.
All right. Thank you, everyone.